Zaitsev came over last year and made a good transition. How do you think Boardman and Rosen are handling that part on and off the ice?
Yeah, I think good. I mean, I think Zaitsev came from Russia. These guys came from Sweden. Much similar, I think, for these guys. English is much more prominent. I think even the way they're talked to and the way they are as people is more similar, and so I think their transition for them is easier. Plus, you got a buddy right there that's come with you. Willie's been here, so I think they got good support that way.
You put Hainsey between them in the room by design?
We try to do everything we can to help them out. Obviously, Hainsey's a real good guy. No different than where Patty's sitting or anything like that. We try to get the room to set up the best we can, and yet a lot of guys are pretty superstitious with where their stall is, so got a fine line there.
Mitch was just saying that the Devils really remind him of the Leafs last year. A lot of young up-and-coming.
Who was saying that?
A lot of young up-and-coming guys. What are your impressions and stuff?
Well, I like them. I think they're fast. I mean, last year they were last in shots, 4 or 5 on 5. So to me, obviously territorial. And then this year, suddenly they're in the top 5 right away. Just coming out shooting. Now it's a short measure, but it's still a different team. They play with much more speed. They're on top of you. I think they're really working. I like their game a lot, and I think it's going to be a good hockey game. We're going to have to play well.
Your team scored 15 goals in the first couple games. The Devils have scored 10 goals in their first 2 games. What do you make of all the goal scoring around the league?
Well, I think that's the way it starts early. I don't think the goalies are dialed in there like they normally are. I don't think the team defense is dialed in like it's going to be. Score the goals while you can because they go away fast.
Mike, where is JVR in your mind in his evolution as a hockey player? Where has he grown since you've been here, and where do you think he can still?
Well, he's way bigger and stronger. I mean, he's spent way more time on his body, so that gets him, instead of a rush player, he can be a cycle player. Their line is, in the last 2 games, they got the game winner, and then they got the game tire to allow us to win in overtime. They're good players, and they normally play pretty well for us. The puck's gone in against them a bit this year, but other than that, they've been pretty good. So we just got to keep them going, and obviously James, a guy, can just flat out score.
You mentioned the term trap game yesterday in regards to this. Would you have to emphasize something different with your group to make sure that that doesn't happen?
Well, I think, and the reason I say that is it's no different than playing the Leafs last year. Is when you finish where you finish, you just think, but I've been watching them, so they're not the same team. But just because I say it doesn't mean they believe it. You know what I mean? So they'll know quick.
Also, your first look at the Nico Hirsch you're going up against him, what do you know about him as a player?
Yeah, I don't know much. I know he's got good speed and good skill. I saw him get to the net, pull up the lay lots of time on the entry with good speed. Looks like he has ability. What they have on their 3 lines here is you got 2 significant players on each line and a worker, and then their 4th line really plays fast. So they got skill on their top 3 groups that can make it hard on you.
Mike, Blake Coleman, one of the Devils, he drinks pickle juice during games to fight off cramping. In your career, have you picked up on any kind of weird substances, drinks, food that players drink during games?
Yeah, I mean, obviously people are very different, and so there's something that works for each guy, but dehydration is a factor for some guys, just flat out, so they got to do what they can. I haven't said, and maybe I have heard of the pickle juice before, but I don't recall that, so I don't know much about it.
Coach, did you get a chance to see what went on in Vegas last night and just how the game kind of alleviated the heartache of what's going on down there? Well,
I think it didn't alleviate, but it was a beautiful ceremony from what I understand. And I didn't watch the game last night past my bedtime. But in saying that, obviously they're off to a great start. And anytime something like that happens in your community, I understand the way they had the first responders and the players on the ice was spectacular. I don't think you can ever give enough thanks to the military and to the first responders in your community for what they do for you and for the opportunities we have. So obviously they did a great job, and that's great, and they'll be a great partner in the National Hockey League.
Pleased that Brandon Leipzig's getting a chance down there?
Yeah, I saw him in the first game. They played, and I thought he was really good. He was trusted and was on the ice lots and was important. We knew Leiper was a good player here. We liked his tenacity. We just didn't have a spot for him, and so in the end you have to make some decisions, but you're always happy when guys go elsewhere and they can play in the NHL.